We have heard a lot, and I mean a lot, of different players rumored to the Los Angeles Lakers over the course of time, over the course of the history of the Lakers, right? But there's a new player who's potentially being rumored there, and if all the stars align, he might find himself rocking the purple and gold for the Los Angeles Lakers, and that is none other than a former number 1 overall pick in Markelle Fultz. And he has a chance to potentially be a Los Angeles Laker, according to a recent report out there. And we're going to break it down here on Lakers Digest. If you're new to the channel, my name is Hunter Pitcoff. Welcome. We are about a quarter of the way through the season. Lakers sit at 13-11, about middle of the pack in the Western Conference. A tightly close race in the Western Conference. And so any small minor move might ultimately be the difference in making it far, and you can make a big difference here on this channel. We are just a handful of subscribers away from reaching 3,100 subs. I want to get this goal right before the new year starts. Let's end 2024 on a good note here, and I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. Let's get into the video. A massive Lakers signing potentially incoming, and this is what a report reveals about Markelle Fultz and his prospects going to LA. Clutch Reports reporting that Lakers have internal conversations about Fultz, the former first overall pick back in 2017, has not lived up to his draft position, but was solid last year playing for the Orlando Magic. Now, until more reports come out about this happening, I'm not necessarily going to fully buy into this happening per se, but it does give us an interesting topic to talk about because we know that the Lakers do need some help, and what Markelle Fultz brings is potentially what this team needs. And how does Fultz fit here in LA? Looking at some of his stats from previous seasons here, of course, it just flat out did not work with the Philadelphia 76ers. They completely messed up his jump shot. He was viewed as a respectable shooter coming out of Washington, a big reason why he went number 1 overall, and was able to find a bit of a second wind here in Orlando. Spent 5 seasons with the Magic. In those time, he was sometimes a starter, sometimes not. Definitely proved to be a little bit more durable at times, playing as many as 72 games, 60 games in seasons, although he had a couple of bad injuries in between. A guy who definitely is not ended up becoming a good three-point shooter, and that's something that, is not very attractive, but a very good playmaker, averaging at least 5 assists in 4 of his 5 years with the Magic. Defensively, he brings a lot of intangibles and production as well. Somebody who is very good at blocking shots, very good at getting steals, also a very big guard as well, about 6'4", 6'5", in the 200-pound range, and has extremely long arms. So that is something that the Lakers need, is a disruptor defensively at that guard position, because they just don't have that right now. We know Austin Reaves is not much of a defensive player. We know D'Angelo Russell is not one. Gabe Vincent, while a solid defensive player, a bit undersized at that guard spot. Markelle Fultz, and not a bad athlete either, more athletic than any of those guys, and really maybe outside of guys like Max Christie and Dalton Connect, he would definitely be your next most athletic guard on the team, because the Lakers do lack that quite a bit, and he would easily be your point of attack, top physically gifted athlete at that position. The Lakers, that's what they lack right now. They lack athleticism, and they lack defensive-minded guards. Unfortunately, Markelle Fultz is a little bit more defensively gifted than offensively gifted, so there is going to yet again be a trade-off there. I know the Lakers are looking more for guys that can do a little bit of both. Markelle Fultz, while he's good at getting to the basket, he's crafty, has a bit of a solid floater game to him as well. He's just not really much outside of the perimeter. He's not much of a jump shooter. He just never was able to fix that jump shot enough where it ended up leading to success on the basketball court. That's something that Lonzo Ball was. He came into the league, couldn't shoot the ball, and became a really good shooter later on in his career, as now he's back with the Chicago Bulls after missing a couple seasons with that really bad knee injury. But Markelle Fultz just wasn't really quite the same. He just never really developed that shot for the Orlando Magic, or for the 76ers rather, and that's going to bring us here to our final point as well. How realistic is this? Can this actually happen for the Lakers? Because right now, he is a free agent, which means that the Lakers have to sign him. And on top of that as well, the Lakers have a full loaded roster, right? So someone has to get cut, or realistically, someone has to get traded in order for this to happen. So the Lakers, too, have a bit of a logjam at the guard position, just not a lot of great guards. Austin Reaves, I mean, he's probably not going to get traded, guys, unless it's a massive deal. So the guys you're looking at here are Gabe Vincent, you're looking at Jalen Hood-Schifino, and you're looking at D'Angelo Russell as your potential trade candidates. And I know this is actually a little not updated, but the Lakers waived JHS's, Jalen Hood-Schifino's, contract. So he's going to be an impending free agent this offseason like D'Lo. So these guys are very likely to be moved in trades because they are expiring deals, and bad teams want expiring contracts so they can clear up salary cap. And on top of that as well, Gabe Vincent, someone who also could get potentially moved too. So if at least two of these guys are gone by the trade deadline, then there is a chance that they're going to need another guard unless they get one in return to just help out with the depth. And Markelle Fultz, who is about, I believe, 26 years old or so. This is someone that is still fairly young. You know what he is at this point. Someone who can average close to double digits a game. Could be solid off the bench. Could potentially even start in a pinch if needed. And he is also someone as well that brings more of a defensive playmaking ability that the Lakers do need right now. The trade-off, though, is he can't shoot. And if you're losing a guy like D'Angelo Russell, that's not going to be someone in Markelle Fultz who can replace his shooting, because that's what D'Lo's really good at, is shooting the basketball. Even Gabe Vincent, while he has struggled with the Lakers, he is viewed more as a better shooter than even Markelle Fultz is. So he might get better looks playing next to LeBron Anthony Davis, but I don't think that his jump shot's going to necessarily magically appear. I know we saw Rui Hachimura, for example, but that's one player I could think of that has come to LA and has become a better shooter after coming to the Lakers. That this typically doesn't happen. In fact, guys, for some reason, have this shooting curse, and they typically are worse when they come to LA. So Markelle Fultz, to me, I don't think this ever is going to move the needle for the Lakers, but if February comes along, and again, I don't expect this move to happen now because, again, the Lakers need to give away players and open up a spot on the roster in order to get Markelle Fultz. It could cut someone, but I don't think Markelle Fultz, like I said, is going to move the needle. So it's going to realistically be the Lakers end up trading more players than they get back at the trade deadline or close to it. And then as a result, that opens up a roster spot, and Markelle Fultz could be someone they bring in to be an extra depth piece at the guard position to really help out the defensive unit and the second unit for the Lakers, which has struggled immensely this season. So let me know down below in the comments, would you be interested in potentially getting Markelle Fultz for the Lakers? Does he make sense for LA, or do you ultimately think he's not going to make much of a difference? I lean more toward the other side, but again, if a couple moves happen, Markelle Fultz is not a bad option to bring in as a depth piece and could potentially provide some needed defensive ability and playmaking ability coming off the bench, especially if someone like D'Angelo Russell, for example, gets moved at the deadline. But let me know down below. We finally have a Laker game coming up here. We're going to have some coverage tonight. My co-host, Akechi Opakama, will bring you a game recap, win or loss, hopefully a win, fingers crossed. That game is tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves, 5 p.m. Central Time, or 5 p.m. West Coast Time, and 8 p.m. East Coast, like myself, who lives in New York. Let me know down below, guys. Again, I'm going to say it one more time just to hammer it. 3,100 subs. That is what we want to reach by the end of the new year. And who knows, maybe we can even reach it tonight. Who knows? But anyways, guys, thank you guys for listening. Be sure to look out for that game recap Akechi Opakama is putting out tonight. And I'll see you all on the other side.